Welcome to the Smarketing Show, Rick Lambert. Today, we're going to talk about how to manage your presence on LinkedIn. And obviously, you do that really, really well. People are changing and leveling up on LinkedIn. And Rick, you're now doing events to train our customers on LinkedIn. So let's talk about what you're doing to manage your network.
You know what, Melissa, there's no secrets on LinkedIn. I think yesterday I posted a video saying I think the first step people need to take is they figure out how they want to, ride on LinkedIn is be a spectator and watch what other people are doing, because a lot of times, we have a hard time finding our voice. And I think the better we can find those examples that we can mimic. I like a bit of what you do, Melissa. I like a bit of what she does or he does. Mm-hmm. I think it'll give you a path to really building your presence. But today, I want to talk about not just what I'm doing, but what I'm working with people and they're doing and they're finding really successful.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with one of the.
Yeah, so a lot of times when I bring up LinkedIn to I'll call it a seasoned business person, okay? Normally balding a bit, mid-50s, maybe pushing 60, business owner. They say that's for millennials or Gen Zs, right? But when I explain to them why it's so important to connect with current customers, the bell goes off. For example, when managing your LinkedIn presence, it's so important to connect with all of your current customers and or potential customers. And here's why, is because you may have done a great job for Mary at company A. You've earned all this relationship equity. Mary, for some reason, leaves company A and goes over to company B, but she doesn't call you or email you to say, hey, Rick, I'm over here now, and you could sell to me or you market to me over here. And so just by simply connecting to your current customers and or potential customers, you'll get those little flags that are all automated in the system. You just couldn't do prior to this technology.
For sure. And it's kind of like that old school Rolodex. It's your business cards.
It's funny you say that, because I have a graphic in my presentation, LinkedIn to Win, of the Rolodex. And it's almost at that point, the seasoned dudes in the room, they actually get it, what this is. It's exactly what you say. It's a digital Rolodex. That's all it
Absolutely. Is. The millennials and Gen Zs right now are off scrolling through Google trying to figure out what that is.
They can't. The only place they see a Rolodex is at the lawn sales. Yes.
Exactly. Next up would be focus on growing your network.
You probably get a lot of invites, Melissa, you look at and, like someone watching right now or listening, and you're like, okay, should I connect with him or her or, and I think, early stages of LinkedIn, it was connect with everybody and anybody. And I'm not suggesting you don't do that. You got to get a feel for what's best for you. But I think the sooner you realize, LinkedIn is a business platform and you want to go to the business meetings that are most beneficial to you. And, there's a lot of people try to sell me things on LinkedIn, and candidly, I screen those. I don't connect with those, but I'm very engaged in, business leaders, marketing leaders, sales leaders, sales professionals. And I think whatever your position is, you got to figure out who your profile is and connect with more of those people. I know that sounds basic, but a lot of people just connect with anybody. And I think it kind of weakens, we'll call it, the field of people within your network in terms of the value they could give you going forward. The other thing too is when we work with companies or individuals on LinkedIn, really there's three phases, right? One is fix your profile, which we're not into today talking about, but that's a basic, right? Remember, if you're going to invite company over to your house, you want to clean the joint up before they get there, but that's another program. Today, we're talking about your presence. And so I think what people need to do is not just think about the content they're posting, but building their network, because A, your profile, B, you got to expand your network, and then 3, you want to go after your network to kind of foster them into conversations. Those are the 3 models we have. That said, I think you have to understand quickly who is your target audience. So for me personally, it's sales leaders, marketing leaders, business owners, sales professionals, and whoever you are, you got to figure out who your persona is, because you're going to get hit on LinkedIn with a lot of invitations from people. And I'm sure, Melissa, you too wince and go, okay, I don't know if I should connect with this person. And because we don't want to be sold to on LinkedIn. I think we want to be educated, obviously. The other thing, the easiest thing to do to grow your network, I think, is to look at who's liking and commenting on your posts, or commenting or liking on posts of someone that's in your role, because they're engaged kind of in what the discussion or conversations are. And it's not always about your particular product or service. It might be just something in your industry. And I find those adjacent connections can be very, very valuable because they're not looking at you right now. And the last thing, some people even look at their competitors' posts. We've got reps saying, hey, who's liking my competitors? I'll add them or invite them to join my network. And the last thing I would say is, when growing your network, which is so critical, because we're now coaching people what to post. Okay, that's the number one question we get. What do I post? But the bigger your network is, the more people are going to see your posts. So we're deep into some automated technology right now that will actually, you can identify who you want to send an invitation to. And this technology uses AI, and it basically will hunt down those people in a positive way to invite them to automatically scale and invite more people than you ever could personally, which again will build your network and set you up for success.
Absolutely. I think to tag nicely into that would be check who's visiting your profile, right? Like who is scouting you out.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you were a car dealership, would you want to know who's kicking tires on a Sunday afternoon? I mean, you'd want to know that.
Absolutely. And thank them. If you do, connect with them, thank them for checking you out, and, give them a compelling reason to connect further.
Well, yeah, I mean, people overthink. I think they overthink LinkedIn, and they think, oh, this is technology. But really, what you're talking about is basic, business common sense. And if someone walked into your store, you would thank them. Now they're walking into your store being your profile. Or I use that analogy of the car dealership on a Sunday, because any car dealer would want to know who's, kicking tires on a Sunday. And with LinkedIn, you can see who's come to your profile. And in many cases, there's a reason they're there, right? And again, opportunity to connect with them.
Absolutely. How about responding to comments on your posts?
So I just did an analysis, and he's probably watching right now, of a senior visible person who said, hey, Rick, can you take a look at my personal profile? Because we're getting into kind of coaching people on a personal level now, which is another game. But I think what you want to do is when someone likes your posts or comments on your posts, they're giving you a nod. And I would say a comment's even deeper, obviously, than a like. But without acknowledging that, and what I mean is, if you look at a lot of strings, you'll see, comments, but the person who posted the original post doesn't thank them or reply to the comment. I think you're missing an opportunity there to get more sticky, because the next time you post, they may not be as likely to comment, et cetera. But to your point about even likes, I personally will go off if there's someone newer on my string that's liking and or obviously commenting, and I'll just thank them for engaging, like one off on a message, because I think that tethers them closer in a good way and showing my appreciation for them stopping by.
Absolutely. And also the LinkedIn algorithms are such that the more you like, the more you comment, it favors that content and fills your feed with more of that stuff. So I think all of that's a good thing.
You're so right. Most people don't understand the algorithms behind LinkedIn, and I'm not going to say I do, but one thing I do know that's public knowledge is that the likes and the comments drive a post well beyond anything else. Share is actually less valuable in LinkedIn's eyes, but likes and comments are the number one kind of factors in terms of propelling that into more people, second level connection, et cetera.
For sure. How about posting on a regular basis? You do that really well, Rick. Let's talk about that.
Well, I try, and I have, help from people like you and others saying, hey, don't do that, or, that's a good idea. So thank you for that. But, I believe, well, first of all, if you go back, the stats indicate that the lifespan of a LinkedIn post is 24 hours. Okay. And so a lot of people, I think, are out there thinking, hey, I can post once a week, which is good, right? At least you're active. A lot of people don't post for months, or they haven't posted at all. They're hiding behind a fence somewhere, right? But I say 3 to 5 times a week, because if you think of that lifespan, the goal, I believe, on LinkedIn for the clients we work with is to stay visible. In other words, in a positive way, right? You're not selling and pumping your tires out there, but stay top of mind. So at point of need, they think, hey, maybe I should engage Melissa about my new website or about a virtual event, because they know that's what you do. And so that's really the thinking there. Now, when you post, yesterday I did a video for a company on the 4 levels of posting, and a lot of people, again, the number one question we get, Melissa, what do you think it is on LinkedIn? What's the number one question we get?
What do I post? I don't know where to start.
What do I post? When the pandemic hit, we worked with about 300 MBAs, talented, right? Very elite people. And we got to the end of our program. They're like, hey, that's great, but what do we post? So we had to build a whole separate program. And what we were showing them were the 4 levels of power posts. And so I think a lot of people don't get that LinkedIn's really your digital business card. And I believe anyway, people want to see your face and hear your voice. And so at the low end of a power post, you've got maybe a picture, an organic picture of something you took. You're at an event, you're taking a picture of your product installed, or second level up from that is the picture of the event or the product and you in it. And I've coached our clients actually, get your face in front of whatever you're taking a picture with, or take a picture with a customer. They want to see your face in there. So picture without your face in the same picture. Next up would be a narration video. So you're behind the camera, if you're a little camera shy, narrating what's going on in front of the camera. Now they can hear your voice. You understand? You're a little level higher. And then, of course, the ultimate post is the selfie, I believe, where you're talking, your face and voice are on camera, because this is where we believe anyway that the trust is formed and people get to know you. And it's just amazing. When I go to events now, and I've watched other people's posts or they've watched my posts, it's almost like you know them, even though you haven't had a conversation.
It's so true.
With them. Yeah.
So I think, Rick, one of the things with what you're saying there is just be authentic, right? People want to see it. It's no different when we're face to face. We're authentically us, right? So, put that out on LinkedIn as well.
I think, yeah. I mean, you want to be you. You can't continue. I think at 3 to 5 times a week to be someone you're not. And I have the good fortune of having people like you that are authentic with me and your feedback. But I do think before you jump in or you're thinking of accelerating forward, I do think it's really valuable to get feedback from others around you on what you're thinking. And those are people that'll be honest with you, because Melissa, how often I will say to you guys, hey, I'm thinking of going this way, or I'm thinking of going that way. And sometimes you have great ideas to say, this is a concept from the outside that I wouldn't think of as myself. And I think just a little bit of coaching, even at the front end, would just set you up for success so much better.
For sure. So let's just add a little bonus in here for our viewers. Request recommendations from your peers, right? That's a good thing to get yourself propelling and growing and all those things.
It's another basic. It's almost like not having dogs barking in the background. It's almost like that. That's kind of basic like that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, that was great, Rick. Some super helpful information for people just to get out there and manage that presence and their own presence. And you mentioned earlier, this is a bit of a shameless plug. You mentioned earlier about personal brand. And so we're going to be launching a personal brand course in the fall based on requests. We've had so many requests. And so maybe we want to speak to that just really quickly.
Yeah. So people, we've been, thank you to our customers, really successful with our 30-day LinkedIn bootcamp, and people are saying, hey, what's next? And so I think, again, in today's environment, when I started in sales back in the olden days when I tied my horse up out front, it used to be all about the company, then it was about the product. And I think now it's more about the person. And so we're launching a program that'll walk people through really how to create your own personal brand. So think of it like how to set up the outfit that you want to wear online, how to shoot video, how to basically position yourself as a person or a professional that would engage people or attract people to want to speak with you about what it is you offer. And oh, by the way, I think what we're trying to do this personal brand course is really get people to think more like they're a product. And a lot of people can't climb outside and look at themselves from the outside, so they have a hard time seeing their value. And that's what I think is really going to be a breakthrough for a lot of people with this new program.
I agree. I'm excited for it. Okay, that's great. Great insights, Rick. Excited for next week. Have a great week, everyone. And thanks for coming and joining us on this Smarketing Show.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Smarketing Show. If you enjoyed today's show, please like, share, and subscribe to get the latest B2B insights to help you market and sell to win.